was found on scope. So that would be something that you could call his office directly for.
Oh, do you mean the sample he took from my stomach is not anywhere online other than in his office?
I might be able to get the results from the biopsy, but we didn't get a report from what he found on the colonoscopy. All we have is the report pre-colonoscopy, but I can look for the results online.
Oh, it could be because he's off until Wednesday. I mean until May or April, and that's when he would put things online because things go online, right?
Yeah, so if he sent something to the lab, I might be able to find those results. Just give me a second.
Yeah, and I'd like to get the results from you from the biopsy because like it's been a long time and people worry, right?
Okay, just a second.
When was my scope again? I'm trying to remember.
I don't have the report from it. I just have the consult before the scope, which I believe was on the 24th, it looks like.
Okay.
January 24th. So I'm not sure when your scope was. But February 17th, there's a pathology report. Let me just open that.
Okay, that's not specifically the date of the scope, but it's the date of the analysis from the biopsy.
Yeah. So they did not find H. pylori, the bug that can cause inflammation in the tummy and ulcers. And there was some just inflammation of the stomach lining.
Okay. Is that something that I can see online? Because last year I did kind of go online where there's a place you can see your own results. Is that on there as well?
I don't know if pathology results are online. You would have to call the hospital for that.
Okay.
You could check the same place though. It looks like in March 2024 they did the H. pylori test, and then but the biopsy is the better test, and that was negative last month.
Okay, so
And
for
then
me, yeah.
they did a stool test too. Oh, that was in 2024 as well for bacteria.
So for me, I'm still experiencing issues that compromise my life. So can I be referred to somebody or can I get a diagnosis of something? And is there a medicine that helps with? Because I talked to my mom again and she says, yes, almost everybody in the family has, and my grandfather had it too, constipation issues. And, but the thing is I've tried many different things and nothing seems to help. So it's probably going to be with me for a long time. So forever and I wonder now at this point if there's medicines that can help because for me changing diet or walking or things like that they don't seem to have measurable improvements anymore.
Okay. Have you tried any medications?
Nope. But
Okay.
but I mean when do does a person like me get diagnosed with IBS? Like, is there a specific test, or people just don't find things and then they know?
Yeah, usually it's a diagnosis of elimination. So once other diagnoses are eliminated, which would happen at colonoscopy. So we know now it's not H. pylori. I don't have the report for the colonoscopy or what he found. I'm assuming that it's not like an ulcerative colitis or Crohn's. Usually that would show up in the biopsy. But in his report beforehand, he was suspecting that this was an IBS type picture. I would recommend calling his office and booking a follow-up with him, though, to go over the results of the scope and his
Well,
recommendations.
I contacted his office to try to get my file transferred to Terrace because, Prince Rupert it's not, there's not much movement forward and he's semi-retired. So, there's too much on his plate and I'd prefer trying somebody else because I don't think he did a great job during the scope because it went by too fast and when I woke up, I thought the time was a particular thing. Then I realized, no, the time is that he did 2 scopes and put elastics on hemorrhoids that didn't seem to make a difference because I took pictures before after and it's on elastic in the toilet and very quick. So I don't think he did a good job at that. And there's still, a week of bleeding, a week of not bleeding, a week of bleeding, a week of not bleeding. And it's, I'd like somebody maybe who knows a little bit more of that stuff and will confirm the IBS. And it's easier for me now to travel to Terrace because I know the buses and trains and everything now. So.
Okay. So you want a second opinion from a surgeon in Terrace?
Well, it's not a second opinion as much as I want somebody that's not semi-retired and also that will put quality and not, go through the scope too quickly. He did tell me when I was waking up that, nothing specifically was found in the scopes, but there's a biopsy that he'll get the results for later. But the thing is he's the only one with a lot of patients here, and he's, semi-retired where he doesn't work every month of the year. So I need somebody from Northern Health to know Martin's been pushing us for 2-3 years, including complaints. He's tired of, having a care card for nothing kind of thing. So I'd like to be referred to somebody, and I did hear that there's a lot of good people there in Terrace. So.
Okay, I'll put in the consult request for you. In the meantime, can you tell me more about your constipation?
Yes. First, can I ask, the referral, are you referring to a specialist? Because Dr. Nell is a general surgeon, but is there a specialist, and it would fall under that category? Who are you referring me to? Things related to digestion?
If you want to see like a GI specialist, that would be in Vancouver.
Okay, so what is the referral for?
A general surgeon is a medical specialist, and they deal with the abdomen and digestion. If you want a subspecialist, like a gastroenterologist, then you'd have to go to Vancouver for that.
Oh, nothing closer than that, eh? Not even Prince George or anything.
Not that I know of. I can have my secretary look though.
Well, let's start with just somebody, that's not close to retiring in Terrace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about your constipation?
Do you have specific questions?
Just what your experience has been. I read Dr. Raymond's notes with the bleeding.
In the past, I think some of the issues I've had with mental illness relate to fatigue. And I've isolated now in the last few years, because it got worse, that the fatigue is caused because of digestion issues. Bloating. A lot of bloating happens, and I've tried fasting and I still get bloating. I've tried a lot of different kind of foods. And I think maybe what's been different since the scopes is my fecal matter seems to have a maximum diameter now, as if either a sphincter is tighter or hemorrhoids are putting pressure, that the shape of and the color has been pretty consistent, that it's it's a pretty small diameter. I would say about 1 centimeter, nothing really bigger than that. But it's still painful, to pass things, and cramps and reflexes to push. And sometimes I have to fight those reflexes to not start another week of bleeding and things like that. But I think maybe there's a lack of lubrication. And I don't think Metamucil, when I take it, makes a big difference in softening, and it doesn't add specifically a lubricant for the movement of the fecal matter. Maybe it's part of that. Maybe.
I would suggest using a medication, over-the-counter medication, like for Storalax or Laxaday. It's a white powder that you can get, and it's a sugar that we don't digest.
Okay, should I be writing this down, or you can send this to the pharmacist where I go? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, I can send it to the pharmacist.
Yeah, send it to the Walmart in Prince Rupert, which is where I more often go.
Okay, let me just check to make sure I have that. So this medication, it's a sugar you don't digest, and you mix it in with a drink like milk or yogurt or a smoothie, and it draws water into the bowel. It's not a medication like a laxative that will make you have a bowel movement the same day. This is more a long-term medication. It's very safe to use. We use it in seniors and in young children all the time. And it's something that you would take every day.
Okay.
And I really like it because you can adjust it on your own. So we normally suggest 1 scoop, which is 17 grams. This will all be on the package. You don't have to worry about the numbers. But 1 scoop per day for a few days. And if you're not happy with what you're passing, you can increase that to 1.5 scoops or 2 scoops. If your bowel movements are getting too loose, you can go down to 1/2 scoop and just kind of titrate to what you need. Just knowing that it's not going to force a bowel movement like a laxative
Okay,
was.
it sounds good. Can I ask 2 questions? Is this a common thing for people with IBS, for example?
Yeah.
Okay, and the other question is, so you're saying what it does is it kind of makes sure that liquid that we ingest doesn't go as quickly into, let's say, the bladder. It'll stay in the the intestines longer, or upper colon, so that there's more easily movement.
Yeah, so basically, like the colon's main job is to draw water out of the stool so that your body's not just wasting a bunch of water. And as it moves through the colon, it draws more and more out. And so anything that speeds that up, like an infection, if it travels faster through the colon, your body has less time to take water out, and then you get diarrhea with lots of water. Anything that slows it down, like if you're taking an opioid medication, then the stool is in the colon longer, and your body keeps drawing out water, and then it gets hard and easy and harder to pass. And so it's all about what water is coming in and out.
Yeah, and
So
maybe
it wouldn't affect how much you're peeing out, but it helps the body keep in the water, and so drinking more water is helpful as well.
Okay, so you're saying that even after the intestines and in the colon, there's still a removal of liquids that go into the bladder. Is that right?
Not directly into the bladder, but it gets drawn out into your blood, and then when your
Oh,
blood goes
okay.
through the kidneys.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The
Yeah.
other thing is, for me, it's extremely rare I get diarrhea. So that means, yes, it could be the right medicine because, yeah, there might be too much dryness, in the way that
Yeah.
my system's processing.
If you were to get diarrhea, you would just stop this medication for a few days. A medication that's helpful for diarrhea would be something like over-the-counter Imodium or loperamide, and that's a medication that does the opposite. So that one slows down.
So,
It's like an opioid. It
so
slows down the
doctor,
bowel, and now things spend more time and more water gets drawn out.
I want to save you some time and just say I'm happy so far. Let's get that powder you're talking about sent to the pharmacy in Walmart. And you're
Okay,
saying
for
over the
sure.
counter, it means I would have to ask the pharmacist, but now at least they'll know a doctor confirms I should take this.
Yeah, it's right on the shelf, but I'll send it to the pharmacist and they can help you pick it out.
Okay. And then the referral to somebody in Terrace will be able to ask me, hey, how's it going with this new powder you're taking, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's good enough for today. I mean, if you want, you can also send a medicine renewal for modafinil if you want. But if you don't want to, it's okay. I got some
No, of course. You're on 100 milligrams, 1.5 tablets per day.
1.5 early in the morning, and then another 100 before noon. Yeah.
Okay, so 1.5 tablets twice a day?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
one and a
perfect.
half plus one. So 250 all before noon. So whatever time I wake up and get something to drink, and then I'll have a 1.5, and then a few hours later, but definitely not at after noon because then it'll screw up my sleep. I'll take
Okay, no
another
problem.
100. Now the reason I'm asking you is the other ways I've done it, if it's independent, they only do a month. At least with you, that's Northern Health, you're able to do more and put refills on it because I've been on this medicine for I don't know 15 years, so it's annoying to always try to find somebody to just give me a month, right?
Yeah, so we can do 3 months at a time through the virtual clinic.
Yeah, with refills would be nice. So then
So we don't do refills, we just do 90 days at a time.
Okay, well it's still better than just the 30 days with other contractors, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I'll send that in the next couple of minutes for you. I'll put the referral in the next 5 minutes or so, and then I'll send the prescription for the Laxaday to the pharmacist so he can help you pick it out.
and then the office of whoever this other general surgeon is in Terrace will kind
He'll
of
call you directly.
okay. They won't wait for an appointment for something specific. They'll just say, "Would you like to come in and do a first kind of consultation?"
Yeah, they'll call you when it's your turn.
Yeah, make sure to ask them to get anything they can from Dr. Nell's office, and they have my permission.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
have a
a
good
great
one.
day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
She enjoys explaining and teaching, which is good. But I also kind of, I was told they have very limited time, so I'm mindful of other people because for me, this is still just a step forward. I'm not gonna try to, make too much conversation or get too much out of that appointment. But it's still, you can see there's still, I'm advocating for myself, which is required. So in a way, it must be encouraged in the culture more in Canada, not just BC, that we, if we're of sound mind, we need to be part of the team that manages our own health. And we need to have the same respect as any other of the professionals in it.